commentaires ou
Okay.
si quelqu'un avait, si quelqu'un avait quelque chose qu'il voudrait partager avec ce qui s'est passé depuis le début du cours et qu'est-ce qui se passe de façon quotidienne.
I got something.
Go ahead, Art.
It was an excellent week. I never really experienced PO like I did this week, but I've been doing like what you said in our first class, and you said that you had students at one point do a full charge.
Mhm.
So I've been doing that, and it's been really, really productive and really involved. But for me, I had to pick up a lot of responsibility this week. But it wasn't really the outside responsibility. Before, I really viewed responsibility as something on the outside.
Mhm.
I started to see that there's that responsibility for our reactions, responsibility for how we interact with people, responsibility for how we interact with ourselves. And then I never thought to, I never done the Kyo where you radiate from here, like it's light radiating. And then I realized it's like a sun, and a sun, it burns for millions and millions of years, and it responsibly burns. It doesn't burn all of its fuel up in 1 second. It goes gradually over time.
Mhm.
And for me, there was like a lesson of taking your time, um, be more involved with what you're doing, but care for it, really care genuinely. And I brought a lot of that into my practice. It was really, really, really provocative.
It's great. That's awesome. I think that you mentioned that the responsibility you were able to face or see or even contemplate during this week goes beyond the obvious type of responsibility of how, how we manage ourselves and in our daily life. But I think one of the beautiful things about Kyo is that it shows us or it teaches us different ways or different forms of responsibility. It's not just the obvious responsibility that we all know and learn as we grow up, but there's responsibility to be had in all sorts of aspects of life. So that's great. And I also love your, your metaphor about the sun and about managing those resources and managing that responsibility. That's great. That's awesome. So thank you for sharing that, Robert. Thank you. I don't know if anyone else has something to share, but before we go on and before I forget, actually, during the Spanish class, there was one of the students mentioned that, oh man, I just forgot. I just went blank, and I was like, oh, I have to remember this before I forget. Hold on, let me think. It was um, it was about a different type of responsibility, but I'll remember at some point as we talk. Are there any other comments, any other questions you might have? Oh, I remembered. Someone was saying in class that during the past week, during the Kyo week, she felt like she was procrastinating more than usual. She felt like perhaps she didn't feel like doing things that she usually um, does very, structured and very responsibly. And I do the air quotes because that was her feeling. She was like, I'm usually very responsible about some stuff, and I do it every week, every day, without, missing it at all. And this week, all of a sudden, she didn't feel like doing stuff. And I'm mentioning this during this class because it is something that I also noticed back in the day when I was first, really going deep into Kyo, I did feel a lot more procrastination and you know, that lack of willpower to do things. And what I learned from that is that oftentimes we think we're responsible about, you know, our day-to-day life, but perhaps it's not really that we are responsible. It's more that we are being hard on ourselves, or we are forcing ourselves to do things because it's the way it's supposed to be. It's what I was taught that I needed to do. So someone gave an example about waking up early in the morning. And perhaps if you have no reason to be up early because your work starts later or because you want to sleep really late, sometimes you still wake up early just because somebody taught you that you are supposed to wake up early, and you're not getting enough rest, or you really end up waking up early and have nothing to do for the rest of the morning. That's not really responsibility. That is just following what society tells you to do, or following what someone else tells you to do. So what I answered to this student in the Spanish class was to observe if it was, if she was really responsible in those aspects, in those things that she didn't really feel like doing during that whole week as she was practicing Kyo. And I asked her to observe, are you really, because you consider, or I told her, you consider yourself to be very responsible in these aspects. Are you really responsible? Or are you pressuring yourself or forcing yourself to do something because someone else tells you to do it? So I think that is a very important question to ask ourselves in whatever aspect of our lives. Are we really responsible in those things that we consider ourselves to be responsible? Or are we just doing it because we were told to do it? Are we forcing ourselves, or are we, you know, controlling so much so that we will be approved or validated by something or someone on the outside? That is another thing to be mindful about when we are trying to develop responsibility. Remember that the teaching of Kyo is about handling or managing each situation with what is the most prudent or the most responsible thing to do. And sometimes the most responsible thing to do, going back to my waking up early example, might be today I'll sleep in. I won't wake up until later because I really need to rest. My body really needs rest. So it's not because your parents told you when you were a kid that you needed to wake up early and have a very productive day. Sometimes the responsible thing is to take a lazy day and just enjoy being in bed for a little longer. And again, the responsible thing is not to do that every day. So it's choose every day. What is the responsible thing or the prudent thing to do today? Okay, so that is something that I thought it was interesting when they shared during the Spanish class, and I wanted to bring that and talk about it during this class because it is a very important part of responsibility. Are you really being responsible? All right. Any other comments? Any other questions? Okay. Well, let's begin today's class. And before I go into the, you know, the teaching, the theory of it all, I want us to do a contemplation before, just to kind of ground ourselves, be more present. So please close your eyes, pay attention within. Just observe your breathing. Don't try to change your breathing. Don't try to control your breathing. Just observe it. Breathe normally. And be aware of your breathing. Pay attention to it. And as you become aware of your breathing, feel more and more present in your body. Allow awareness, allow presence to inhabit your body. Good. And now just pay attention to your emotional state. What are you feeling right now? What emotions are active within you at this moment? And whatever you perceive, whatever you feel, just feel it consciously. Don't fight it. Don't run away from it. Just feel. Breathe, inhabit, and feel. And now observe. Pay attention to your thoughts, your ideas. And again, don't control your thoughts, the ideas that come to your mind. Just observe as they come and go. Aware of your body, aware of your vital energy, aware of your emotions, and aware of your mind. Breathe, inhabit, feel, and observe. You are alive, you are present, you are living this experience in this moment. Vajra, Swaha. Just take a moment to connect with these two concepts. Vajra, that unified experience of the soul incarnated in your body. Swaha, in a state of humility. Vajra, Swaha. Vajra, Swaha. Good. Take a deep breath and come back. Right. Ram, are we not using the closed caption today? Just wondering because you know the recording saves the file. In case you have forgotten.
Tell me what to do and I will close caption.
That's why, because we started quickly. And it's okay. Suki, if you can, please, there's the CC underneath. You click on it and it says, oh, I lost you.
Hold on here, Ram,
Okay.
participants,
You can choose me as the person that's going to type.
right. Bear with me here, assign to closed caption. There we go.
Thank you.
All right, I'm out.
That's
Thank
Suki.
you.
Thank you.
All right. Okay, so the third set of KUJI, or the third seal, is toe. And like I said, the past couple of weeks, each of the seals helps us or teaches us about a blockage or an obstacle that we have that prevents the soul from really living in unity with the human. So of course, like I said, we are the soul and we are the human. We are both experiences, but we don't live both experiences freely. And with Rin, we learn that perhaps there is fear in the experiences we live. With Kyo, we learn that there might be that feeling of, if I am the soul and everything is okay, because that's what I learned with faith in Rin, then why even bother? Why try to do good in the world? Why try to have a good life? And that's where responsibility comes into play. If you are prudent, if you choose to act in a responsible manner, then your life will be much more enjoyable. So yes, it is okay if you have difficult experiences. It's okay if there is suffering. The soul is still learning and growing. But why not make an effort to have more enjoyable experiences rather than just, negative or hard experiences? I was using an example in the Spanish class that maybe it will work for this group as well. As you may know, us Mexicans, we really like our spicy food, and we even put like chili powder on fruit, and we enjoy eating fruit with chili powder. It's just very enjoyable for us, and it's like a very Mexican thing, I guess. And in the Spanish group, not all the students are Mexican. I have people from South America, and especially one of the girls, she asked me, like, I really don't understand why you would do that. It seems like it's not enjoyable when you're eating it, and I'm sure like once it's coming out, it's probably not enjoyable either. So I laughed and I thought, perhaps that would be your experience, but for us, it's a good experience. So I use this as an example. Is eating, fruit with chili powder good or bad? It's neither. It's just an experience. And each of us as an individual can choose what's more responsible and what's more prudent for each of us, right? So the thing is, we have free will and we can choose what kind of experiences we have. And what I said is, if I were to bring all of you with me, well, I'm not in Mexico at the moment, but if we were all to go to Mexico and have some fruit, not just because you're in Mexico, you would be forced to eat fruit with chili powder, all of you. Perhaps I would choose that. Perhaps one of you might be brave and think like, I would like to try it. But if you are free and if you can be responsible, why not choose to enjoy your fruit in whichever way you prefer? So it's the same thing in life. Be responsible, and even though you are perhaps using that same example, even if you're in a culture that eats everything with makes it everything spicy, it doesn't mean you have to do it like that. You're still free to choose what's more enjoyable for you. So that's the same example in life. You can choose what's more enjoyable. It doesn't mean you have to suffer just because suffering is an option. No, if you don't like chili on your fruit or chili on your whatever, don't do it. Just choose to eat the way you prefer. And that is the part of the teaching of Kyo. And this leads us into To, because To is all about observing and becoming aware or conscious of what makes us choose to eat our food with chili powder or not. Or in other words, what makes us more often than not make the choices we make. And the short answer to this is our attachments. More specifically, To is about our mental attachments or our identity. Using the same example, if someone mentions to me, I don't know, a bowl of watermelon, why do I immediately salivate when I think about my watermelon with chili powder and a bit of lime? Because there is a mental attachment that I've made to that idea that it is how my culture eats it, because I am Mexican, because it's the way I was taught to do it. And because of course now I have also an emotional attachment to it. So both the identity, in this case my nationality, and my emotional attachment, perhaps remembering those flavors when I was a kid and having fun while eating, you know, going and buying fruit from the vendor in the street and putting lime and chili in it. It brings an attachment that when nowadays I see watermelon, I immediately want to go and prepare it in that way. Does that make sense? And I'm just using this example with the fruit, but it applies to everything. Think about a dish or a food that you like. Perhaps think about something that you prepare or you eat in a very specific way that perhaps it's not the usual or the normal way. And think about why you like to eat it in that way, or why do you prepare it in that certain specific way. Your attachments have to do with that. Is there an emotional attachment, a specific feeling that it brings you when you make or eat that food in that specific way? Is it something cultural? Is it the way your people or the people in your country eat it or prepare it? Is it, you know, like I don't know, the national dish? And of course, right now I'm focusing on food, but think about in your day-to-day life, how do your attachments have an influence, a very big influence, if we're honest, on how you decide to do things in your day-to-day life? If you are a woman, how does that influence how you do certain things. If you're a man, how does that influence how you choose to respond to certain situations? I've noticed recently there has been like a growth and an expansion of this whole feminist movement, which is great, about equality. And a lot of the women in this movement, they say like, yeah, everything should be equal. But then there are still certain attitudes or certain behaviors that, just in day-to-day life, they have very natural behaviors that still kind of support this idea that has been for centuries, that there are certain activities that are more meant for men and certain activities or behaviors that should be more reserved for women. Even if they are feminists, even if they do believe in equality, those attachments are so deeply rooted that they would still think that their boyfriend or their husband should act in a certain way just because they're the man. And I noticed this with a couple of friends, that they're a couple, and my friend, the girl, she is a very big supporter of feminism, and she believes in equality. I mean, so does my guy friend. But I noticed that they're always talking about equality and both genders are the same and they can do the same things. And yet I've noticed little things, like, for example, one time we all went out, and when the bill came, my girlfriend, she just automatically said like, oh yeah, you should pick up the tab because you're the man. And of course she doesn't deeply fully believe this. She could pay for it, but it's just like so rooted that you automatically do that thing. Or I've noticed in a different occasion, she made a comment like expecting for him to go and open the door for her so she could walk in. Why doesn't she just open the door for him so he could walk into the place? Again, this doesn't change the fact that they do both still believe in equality, but those things are so rooted in our system that we just assume that that's how things should be. So this is just, I mentioned nationality, now I'm talking about gender. What about your profession, or how whether you have a degree or some type of career, or you don't? How often do you judge or make decisions based on your level of education? An example that I can give, that I personally lived it at some point in my life, is I do have a college degree. I never really practiced what I studied, but the degree is there. It's, for now, it's just a piece of paper for me because I don't really work in that field at all. So when I am surrounded, or I'm in a group of people that have, a master's or a PhD, or even simply people that are very involved in their field and they seem very knowledgeable, just because I may not have the same level of education that they do, I feel like there's nothing I could add to the conversation. Or perhaps like I don't have the same amount of knowledge or education. Who's to say that? Perhaps I've, informally read and educated myself about a specific topic, and I might not, I might have something to add, but my attachment to the idea that I might be under or overeducated makes me act in a certain way. Does that make sense? Perhaps, like I just said, I have a degree. In theory, I should be very knowledgeable in the field of languages. I have a specialization in translation and interpretation, and yet, but since I haven't practiced it, in theory, I should be very good at that. But I know people that don't have a degree that know way more than that, and perhaps if perhaps for them being in a room with me, if I'm saying, oh yeah, I have this degree or this is my field, perhaps they might feel inferior when in reality they have more experience and more practice than I do. So all of these attachments are are a very big factor in the way we act. So I've mentioned nationality, I've mentioned gender, now our careers or our education. What about our, you know, our economic status? When you've grown in a specific, you know, financial situation, that affects or that really has an impact on how you make decisions in your life. Even if perhaps now you're in a better place financially, you might still make decisions or you might still think in a certain way because you are so used to perhaps being in a situation of financial hardship. For example, my family comes from Mexico, from like a very poor region, and my parents really grew up being really poor and with a lot of financial difficulties. Nowadays, my dad has a very big and successful business. They are very well off financially. They're both about to retire, and they're okay for the rest of their lives. But I still see a lot of their attitude in life is still, a lot of their decisions are still born from an idea of we don't have enough, or there is a lack of money or a lack of resources. And that's not the reality. They're not there anymore, but I can still see them act or make decisions based on that because they are still attached to the idea of we are poor, we're from an underdeveloped community, and that affects us. I mean, sometimes in the movies we see this as a joke, and it is funny, we think about it, but the same goes the other way around. When someone who grew up being very rich and with all the money in the world, and all of a sudden they lose it all, they go in life with that attitude of still being better than others, or perhaps judging or not liking, you know, what the other side does, and that makes for very funny movies and TV shows, yes, but they are still acting or making their decisions based on those attachments. Breathe. Pay attention inside. Think about some of those mental attachments, some of those identities that you have created for yourself, or even that perhaps you didn't consciously create yourself, but that you have accepted about yourself. Think about your gender, your nationality, your age, your education, your profession. And going to that swaha attitude. where you have the humility to accept that you have all of those mental attachments. And from that, swaha attitude, from that bisantara attitude, be honest and observe how complicated it is to move in life, you know, juggling all of these identities and all of these attachments. What do I mean by this? When you come face to face with a situation, a decision you have to make, and I'm just gonna make this situation up, but when you are in front of a bowl of watermelon, you think, well, should I eat it with chili or not? Because the nationality comes into play. Perhaps you were your education comes into play. Like, should I just, and your you know, social status or your economic status too, like, should I just grab it with my hands, or I'm in a room full of rich people, should I eat it with a fork, or what, how do I do it? And then you are in front of that bowl of watermelon thinking for 5 minutes whether you will eat it or not, and how you will eat it, what the other person will think of you and the way you are choosing to eat it. All of this, because all of those attachments, all of those identities are whispering something different in your ear. Can you see how this happens in not just the watermelon situation, but in any situation in life? You think, should I do this the way I would do it at home? Should I do this the way I would act if I was with my friends? Should I do this more professionally? Should I make this purchase because I want it and I have enough money, or should I not do it because I'm still afraid that eventually I won't have enough because that's the way I was raised? So all of these attachments make us go, you know, in circles when we have to make a decision, or not even just when making decisions, but when we are embracing or living the experiences we live. Take a deep breath and come back. A metaphor I use for explaining the teaching of Do is about, you know, clothing. Imagine not knowing what the weather is going to be like in the place where you live. Of course, besides the fact that we can check the weather on our phone or on TV, we also already kind of have an idea of the seasons, and I can tell, for example, that today I'm not going to walk out there and it's going to be snowing because we're about to start summer. But imagine you didn't have that certainty of the seasons. You didn't have a way of checking the weather. You just didn't know at all. You could step outside and it will be snowing, or it will be the hottest day ever. If you didn't have that certainty, and you had a closet full of clothes, from that point of uncertainty, we would probably end up wearing many layers of clothing every day, just in case. I'll take my coat just in case it rains. And I'll also bring my scarf just in case it's cold. And I'll probably have to, under all of this, I'll probably have to wear my bathing suit in case I need to swim at some point. And we would be going around our life with many, many layers of clothing just in case I need it. That is what we do in our life. We step outside and we live our life wearing many, many layers of clothing or of identity or of attachment, just in case. You bring your professional identity just in case you'll need it. You bring your gender identity just in case you need it. You bring your nationality and your age identity just in case it's needed. Now picture yourself wearing every single piece of clothing in your closet at the same time. Imagine you wear all of those clothes at the same time, all those layers, one on top of the other. How does that make you feel? When I think about that, it makes me feel like I can't move, like I'm too, everything's too tight, not a lot of space to move. It even feels, asphyxiating in a way, like it's so much. That's how you're going about in your life, carrying all of those identities that they're not bad. They are good. They are helpful. They allow you to be part of a group or part of a pack. But it's like we don't know when to use them or how to use our identities, our attachments. So we wear all of them at the same time, just in case I need it. The teaching of To is to let's say the teaching of To would be to check your phone every day before you step out into the open to see what the weather is going to be like and choose your clothing accordingly. To teaches us that you can have all of these identities or all of these mental attachments, but you don't need to wear them all at the same time. If you are spending an afternoon with your family, why would you need to bring your I'm a doctor identity? Or why would you need to bring your I'm a spiritual teacher identity if they don't know and they don't care about your spirituality? There is no way I can go to my family and tell them to integrate this or integrate that or do this mantra, because one, they don't care about it. Two, they don't understand it. So even if I am with my family and I see them in reaction, if I see them projecting, I have compassion towards them because I understand they don't know any better. But it would be a waste of my time and their time for me to put on my emotional integration teacher hat and try to make them integrate. It would be a waste of my time. I mean, to tell them to do a mantra. I can talk to them, I can inspire them, of course, but I don't need to defend or prove to them that I have this identity and you have to do what I say, or you have to acknowledge and validate my attachments. Does that make sense? When you are, this is another example that I was talking about. Well, actually I used a different example in the Spanish class, but then I thought of a better one. And sorry, I'm going to give you another food-related example and another Mexican food-related example. There is this big debate in Mexico about quesadillas. I don't know if you all know what quesadillas are, but it is a dish. And people in the capital of the country or around that area say that quesadillas don't necessarily have cheese. You have to ask for cheese as an extra ingredient. But most of the rest of Mexico thinks that cheese is like a natural part of the dish. Like it has to be there. It's an obvious ingredient. And again, this is a funny example, but there is a debate and it sparks, fighting and debating because do they have cheese or shouldn't it have cheese? I personally already know about this debate. So when I travel to Mexico City, I know that I will ask for my quesadilla with cheese. It will take me 2 extra seconds to say, add cheese to it. While if I'm in some other random city, I know they already think that quesadilla naturally has cheese. So I will just say, give me a quesadilla. And I know that they already will put cheese in it. But a lot of people don't do this. A lot of people go to Mexico City and they ask for a quesadilla and they start a debate or a fight about it should have cheese because it's natural, because it's part of the world and that's the way it is. And you go into this fighting about it. The other example I was giving in the Spanish class, and again, it's another food related example, but it's about another dish, more of a South American dish, an arepa. And I mean, it's just, think of this, it's a South American dish. And the big debate is that both Venezuelans and Colombians want to claim it. They both say it's our dish. An arepa is a Venezuelan dish, and arepa is a Colombian dish. Both of their versions of the dish are very, very similar, pretty much the same. Both are delicious, but there is a big fight. If I'm hanging out with my Colombian friends, I will have Colombian arepas. If I'm hanging out with my Venezuelan friends, I will have Venezuelan arepas. For me, the Mexican, they are both the same thing. For them, they are so convinced that their version of the dish is not only the best, but also the original. So how do we adapt to these types of situations? Can you see how much the fighting or the attachment that we have to our identities make us, those attachments make us lose time, lose energy, and lose all sorts of resources. I mean, what about politics? How much energy and how much resources do you waste defending your political preference? It is your political preference. If you are going to vote for your party, you're already doing your part. When you are with your friends that think the way you do, well, talk about politics, go in depth about it. But if you know you're hanging out with the people that don't think the same, I mean, if there is an opportunity for debate, great, because people might want to discuss things and perhaps change their point of view. But if it's not a meeting about discussing politics, if it's, I don't know, the Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner with your family, and you bring politics into that event, why would you do that? It's detonating and activating everyone's attachments. Now everyone's fighting. Now everyone is defending their point of view. Now everyone's talking from their political attachment or identity instead of interacting simply from their family member identity or attachment. So again, these attachments are not wrong. Having a political preference is great. Go in and support your preference. Go and vote. Having, you know, what's the word? Having a pride about your nationality and about your culture and your food is great. As long as it's not gonna make you go in a fight and start World War III, just enjoy it. Just go in and interact with your friends and with your family. And when you are with your family who are all the same nationality, celebrate your nationality. But when you're in a group of all sorts of different nationalities, why go into a fight? I know I'm giving lots of different examples because I really want to you know, make you see what I'm trying to teach or what To is teaching us. Attachments are not bad, but attachments can make us get stuck in our ideals, in our fighting. And if you notice, or if you pay attention to, if you have your document, your manual at hand, the subtitle or the name for To in English is harmony. Do your attachments, or does your identity make you be in harmony at all times? The answer is probably not. So To is inviting you to find harmony within or with all of those attachments. And how do we do this? Like I said, by, well, first step, by becoming conscious or aware of what are my attachments? What is my identity? And once you are aware of those mental attachments or of all of those layers of identity that you have created, then choosing which should I use right now? What should I be today? In this Zoom class about KUJI, what attachment should I use? Who am I? How many times have you been to a Zoom meeting like this where someone is the teacher or is the one, you know, sharing a wisdom, and there is or even not just a Zoom meeting, but in any class setting, and there is a person that keeps on interrupting because they think they know more about the topic. Perhaps they do. I'm not saying they don't. Perhaps they have something good to share, but they are in a competition of, I know more about the topic, or I'm also a teacher, so I don't agree with what you're teaching and I'm gonna interrupt. It happens. So if I were to be attending this class right now, but it was Suki Bird's class, if she was teaching To right now, even though I love KUJI and I do think I'm pretty good at teaching KUJI, if it was her class, I would take off my teacher hat and I would put on my student hat and I would listen to her class. And if there was something big or something important that I think she missed or something that I think would add to her class, of course I would say it. But I wouldn't be interrupting the class every 3 minutes just because I think I'm a better teacher than she is. Or not even because I'm better, but just because I'm also a teacher, so I should also be teaching right now. No, there are times for me to be the student. There are times for me to be the one teaching. That is what finding harmony in your identity means. To find what attachment or what layer of your identity better fits or better suits the situation you are experiencing at the moment. Breathe. When you choose to use attachment or identity as a tool, it stops having so much power and putting so much pressure and weight on you. Sometimes it feels like that identity you've created has power over you. It doesn't. It's a tool. It's a piece of clothing. You can choose to take off your jacket when it gets hot. You can choose to take off your education identity when it's getting too hot around you. Learn to use your identity as a tool. Find harmony in your attachments. That is the teaching of To. Breathe. The mantra for To is the longest one of the KUJI mantras. But personally, it is my favorite because of its meaning, the translation of it, rather. The mantra itself is Om Jitarashi Yatra Jivaratna Swaha. And I will pronounce it again slower so that you can hear the pronunciation and kind of begin to familiarize yourself with it. Om Jita Rashi Yatra Jiva Ratna Swaha. Om Jita Rashi Yatra Jiva Ratna Swaha. Again, I'm not going to focus on the Om or the Swaha to explain it, but let's begin with Jita Rashi. Jita, the literal translation is the zodiac. Now, this is, or zodiac here in this case, is a metaphor for our identity. When we think of the zodiac signs, we usually think how there are certain characteristics to each zodiac sign. So, for example, I'm not an expert on astrology or the zodiac, but I'm a Pisces, and I've heard that Pisces are super creative and super emotional. That's what everyone tells me. I mean, nowadays I could see myself as creative and as emotional, but a few years back, probably I wouldn't have thought of myself as being emotional. I was so blocked emotionally that I was like, no, I have no feelings. What are you talking about? But nowadays I can see it, kind of, but I know I'm not only that. There are a lot of people that really buy into what their zodiac sign says, that they believe that's what I am. So if my zodiac says that I am not good at dancing, I'm not even gonna try to dance because that's what my zodiac says. If I feel like I am not creative, I'm still gonna sign up for every art class there is because I'm creative and I need to learn art. No, what if you're not really creative or you don't feel like it? So in this case, the mantra Jita Rashi, well, Jita is, I'm sorry, I actually made a mistake earlier. Jita means defeat and Rashi is the zodiac. So Jita Rashi means to defeat the zodiac. I don't necessarily like the word defeat per se. I would change it to transcend or go beyond. So Jita Rashi, or defeat the zodiac, simply means don't get stuck in that identity you've created. Transcend it. Yes, you are still a woman, professional, Mexican or American or European or whatever nationality you might be. You still have all of those things. Yes, they do have an influence on your life and how you behave and how you act. Sure, of course they do. But that is not all that defines you. Go beyond that. Defeat that identity you've created. And by defeating it, it doesn't mean get rid of it or stop being a woman, stop being your nationality, stop having, money and belongings. No, it doesn't mean to get rid of those things. It means don't identify yourself strictly with that. Go beyond. You're more than that. So defeating the zodiac or Jita Rashi simply means that, to go beyond your identity, to transcend what you have created as your identity. And why should we defeat the zodiac, or why should we go beyond? Jatra Jivaratna. Jatra means to reveal. Jiva means life. And Ratna means treasure. So Yatra Jivaratna means to reveal the treasures of life. What does that mean? If you go beyond your identity, you will discover new possibilities. You will discover those little things that perhaps you didn't enjoy before. Here I go again with my watermelon examples, but this is literally something that happened to me yesterday. I was scrolling through Facebook and I came upon this post, this very short video of this guy saying, trust me, you have to try this. And then he proceeded to grab a slice of watermelon and put mustard on the watermelon and try it. That's all. The video just said, trust me, you have to try this. Watermelon with mustard. Now I understand what people think of us Mexicans when they see us putting chili on our watermelon. I was like, that does not sound good at all. No, I will never try that. And I caught myself perhaps preventing myself from discovering a treasure of life because of all my attachments. What if that is the most freaking amazing way of eating watermelon and I am not allowing myself to do it because of all my attachments or of all my identity that says you shouldn't do that? And it's funny how watermelon came into play towards the end of the class. It's like we went in a full circle. That was not planned at all, by the way. But it was funny. So that is what this mantra means. If you transcend your identity, you can experience new things. You can discover new things. There's this, I use this story as an example for this class every time I teach TOE, because it was something that really stuck with me. One of the very first times I taught KUJI, and I did this on purpose. On week 3, when we were studying TOE, when the class started, I asked everyone in the class to go around and introduce themselves. My excuse was like, oh, I'm very sorry, it's week 3 and we haven't introduced ourselves. So please tell me a little bit about yourself. I wanted to see how people perceive themselves. And there were two students that really stuck, what they said really stuck with me. one of them, she's an older lady. She had just moved here to El Paso, to the US from Mexico, where she had been a psychologist for most of her life. She was retired and she came over here to live with her son. So when it was her turn to introduce herself, she said, well, I'm so and so old and I don't know what I am, because I used to be a psychologist, and now that I'm here, I can't practice my profession because I'm not certified, and I'm really sad. Actually, that's why I came to meditation, to see if I could, get over this, because I don't know what I am. There's nothing else for me to do now that I can be a psychologist. She was so stuck to the idea of her attachment as a psychologist that couldn't practice here in the US, that she wasn't seeing any other possibilities. By the time the class ended and I had gone through all of this teaching, she thanked me because she said, I just realized I'm so attached to my profession that I can see that now that I'm here with my son, I can do other things. I can be a grandma. I can maybe spend more time playing with my grandchildren. I could perhaps become, a meditation student. This is something so new to me. And I've been liking what I've studied or what I've learned so far. Why can't I be something different? So she realized how, by being stuck on her zodiac, she wasn't discovering the treasures of life. But once she went beyond that, she discovered a bunch of possibilities of how she could define herself. And she told me, that sadness, that depression I mentioned at the beginning, it disappeared right away just by seeing beyond my identity, and just seeing possibilities got me excited. She was excited. And of course, she struggled with it. It's not like the next day she was very happy and she never felt that attachment to her profession again. But she really had opened herself up to all of those possibilities. The second student in that class that really stuck with me, she was also an younger, but still a bit of an older lady, and she said, my name is so and so, I'm this old, and for the longest time I would have said, and I'm a mother, but recently my youngest kid just left home, and I'm so used to caring for others and caring for my children, feeding them, washing their clothes, doing everything for them, that now that they're all gone, I have no purpose in life. She said, I have nothing to do. And again, she did mention the same, like, I'm sad. I feel like I have nothing else to do in life. Like, my purpose has been fulfilled, and that's it for me. And again, by the end of the class, she said, I am so attached to my mother identity. She said, I can't believe how stuck I was with that, and how bad I felt, because I felt like I had no purpose. If anything, I have a lot of free time now. I still don't know what I want to do. She still didn't really see a lot of possibilities, but she saw the possibility of discovering possibilities. So she opened herself up to experiment and perhaps find something that she wants to do. And she said, and also something that I realized is that I haven't stopped being a mother. If my children come home to visit, I can still take care of them. I can still cook for them. Eventually, when I have grandchildren and they bring them home, I will care for my grandchildren as well. So it's not like that part of me is over. I can still use that when needed. But when I'm alone at home, I don't have to be, carrying that attachment with me of, I'm a mother, but I have no one to care for, so I'm useless. No, I'll put away that identity for a while and I put a new one on. So those two examples really stuck with me, and I always use them during this class because those are good examples of how we can go beyond what we believe we are and discover new things to do or new possibilities. And to me, that is the teaching of Toe. Don't get rid of your attachments. Learn how to use them, learn how to transcend them, and you will discover a world of possibilities. You will find harmony. Because even if you are a mom and you have no one to take care of anymore, you can still remain in a state of harmony. Even if you can't practice your profession, you can remain in a state of harmony. And that is just, that's the gist of it. That's Toe. And well, I've gone on and on about the teaching or the Dharma of it. We haven't really focused on the technical stuff. So we've gone over the mantra. In this case, the focus point or the chakra is not a chakra, but rather an area that is also related to our energetic or our vital body. And the area where we focus is the dantian. In other, in other traditions, in other philosophies, it's also known as the hara. And it is this whole area that really covers all of our lower abdomen, all of our digestive system, our intestines, all of that is the dantian. Now the dantian is what is usually known as our energy reserves or our extra battery. In the dantian, we store energy, we store vital energy, we store resources, so that when we need an extra boost of energy, we could get it from the dantian instead of feeling depleted or feeling like we don't have any energy. The thing is that for most of us, our dantian is not fully charged. Why? Because it gets depleted by, guess what? Our attachments. Remember how I said, when you're in front of that bowl of watermelon and you are trying to decide how you're gonna eat it because one of your attachments is telling you to do it a certain way, but a different attachment is telling you to do it a different way? All of that time and energy you spend on deciding which attachment to use or how to proceed, all of those are resources that we are taking away or wasting or using up that could be part of our reserves, that could be in our dantian. That is the relationship between Toe and the dantian. The more you are attached to these identities, the less energy you're storing in your dantian. So the more harmony we find within ourselves and with our identity, the more we will be able to store energy in the dantian. The visualization for Toe is very simple. We visualize energy coming into the dantian. You can just imagine as all of your intestines, all of your digestive system slowly filling up with energy and kind of charging like a battery. I mentioned on Thursday to the Spanish class that it's almost like when you plug in your phone to charge and you see the battery that's empty, and at first it's red, then it goes like into orange, then yellow, and eventually it's all full and green. That's the visualization, but in your dantian. You start with like a depleted empty battery, and as it charges, it goes from empty until you see a full golden light filling all of your dantian. And the energy, again, this is not dramatic, but the document here says to visualize, at first it's just white light. And the more it charges or the more it fills up, it becomes golden light. But if you like the image of the battery, you could go from red to green if that's what you prefer. It's no problem at all. But just try to imagine how your dantian, all of your digestive system, is slowly filling up and being charged. That is the visualization. We've gone through the mantra. Now let's see the mudra. And the mudra for toe is probably one of the easiest ones to do. For toe, we keep our pinky and our ring fingers pointing up, and the index and middle fingers, we're gonna bend those down, but instead of going on the outside, those go inside of the palms. So they go in, and we keep the ring and the pinky pointing up, and the thumbs are also pointing up. They're just kind of hanging there in the side. So it looks something like this. Yes, Janelle, you got it right. Robert, yes, that's correct. Good, Cruz. Good, Shiva. Right. Suki, you got it. And Ram, I think you got it too, I believe. Sashivum, yes, good. The thing to watch for with this one is that sometimes people tend to, when they fold these fingers down, instead of putting them in the inside, they keep them outside. That is the only thing to watch out for. Just remember they go inside. Yep. The thing with this one, the meaning here is the pinkies. Let me go back to the chart with the fingers, because I get confused with the other traditions. The pinky is earth, and the ring finger is water. So this is telling us to have our emotions or our water grounded as we move on with experiences, to have that grounding, that emotional grounding on how we act outside. Also the thumb, which is heaven, is also out, while the air and the fire are going inside. Why are air and fire kind of like inside now? What makes us go outside? Or rather, let me say it another way. When we are defending our identity, or when we are fighting, it's usually pointing fingers, like, no, my way of eating the watermelon is the best, or no, this is me. And so that fire energy and that air energy, that is both, they're both about going outside and communicating and expressing. Now they're going inside. It's like, don't act outside from that state of pointing fingers. Go outside, relate to the world with water and earth. So when you are choosing how to eat your watermelon, don't do it with fire and air, do it with earth and water. Be grounded, being aware. How will I eat my watermelon? What identity or what attachment will I choose when deciding or when acting in this specific situation? So that is the meaning of the mudra. So we got the mudra, we got the focus point, we have the visualization and the mantra, and of course we got the teaching. I think we got it covered. So let's go ahead and do our practice. Well, before we go into the practice, are there any questions or any comments about Toe, about this teaching? Okay, let's go ahead and do our practice. And just like I've done the past couple of weeks, at some point during the practice, I will ask you to breathe in deeply and then with intention repeat the mantra in sets of 3. We will do it several times, okay? So make the mudra if you don't have it already. And just breathe. Pay attention inside. Focus your attention on the dantian area. And think about your identity. Think about your attachments and how they affect how you interact with the world, how you make decisions, how you show yourself out in the world. And don't go into an integration, don't go into blaming yourself or being hard on yourself. Just for now, observe those attachments in front of you. Find gratitude for each of those attachments and choose to be in harmony with them. Choose to use them as tools. And more importantly, choose to go beyond them so you can discover the treasures in life. Do. Breathe. And as you transcend those attachments, just allow yourself to feel your dantian getting full of energy, recharging like a battery. Feel your intestines being filled with vitality, with energy, with all the resources you are saving by being in harmony with your attachments. To. I defeat the zodiac and discover the treasures in life. To. I am aware of my identity. I am aware of my attachments. And I recognize them as tools, as useful tools. To. Om Jitarashi Yatra Jivaratna Swaha. And as you have, or as you keep your attention on that dantian that is getting full of energy, as it's being charged with energy, take a deep breath and with intention repeat the mantra. Om Jitarashi Yatra Jivaratna Swaha. Om Jitarashi Yatra Jivaratna Swaha. Om Jitarashiyatra Jivaratna Swaha. And because this one's a bit longer, don't worry about doing it all in one breath. As long as you repeat with intention. Have that attitude of, I want to discover the treasures of life. I want to see possibilities beyond my current identity. Breathe in and repeat with intention. Om Jitarashiyatra Jivaratna Swaha. Om Jitarashiyatra Jivaratna Swaha. Om Jitarashiyatra Jivaratna Swaha. I defeat the zodiac. I reveal the treasures of life. Again. Om Jitarashiyatra Jivaratna Swaha. Om Jitarashiyatra Jivaratna Swaha. Om Jitarashiyatra Jivaratna Swaha. Feel your dantian full of energy. Breathe in, repeat with intention. Om Jitarashiyatra Jivaratna Swaha. Om Jitarashiyatra Jivaratna Swaha. Om Jitarashiyatra Jivaratna Swaha. To. I have mastery over my identity. Om Jitarashiyatra Jivaratna Swaha. Good. Now just feel what moves within you. How does to feel for you? Just pay attention to the feeling. Feel the harmony. To. Take a deep breath and slowly undo the mudra. If you feel it necessary, do a vocal breath and begin to come back. Good. Good. Now, of course, as we move through the different seals, each seal is supported by the previous ones. So the question might arise of, okay, well, how do I know what identity or what attachment to wear when? How do I know which one to use? Kyo, responsibility. What is the most responsible choice? Is it, going back to one of the examples I gave, if this was Suki's or Ram's class, if I am here as a student, but I hear I don't know, they completely forget to mention the mudra and they're about to finish their class, perhaps the most responsible, the most prudent thing to do would be to change my hat from student to teacher and say something. Say, hey, I think you forgot to mention the mudra. And that would be the prudent thing. But if they are teaching the way they want and from their own experience and they've covered all the basics, there is no need, the responsible thing is, or the prudent thing is for me to enjoy the class as a student. So that's where Kyo comes into place. If you don't know what to choose, what identity to use, what is the most virtuous, responsible, prudent thing to do, that's what's going to help you find or choose the attitude or the attachment to use in any given situation. Okay. Any questions, any comments about this class, about this teaching? Janelle, I read your comment. You feel more free. That's good. That's great. I'm glad you could feel that. Are there any other comments? Any other questions? Yes, there isn't. Well, as always, wonderful feeling of talk. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you, Sashibum. Thank you, SukhiSam. Well, as in the previous weeks, you know, the homework is to practice though daily, a few minutes, a whole hour, whatever you feel like doing. But not only that, also observe the pain or the suffering behind those attachments. So observe how much it hurts to let go of some of those identities. You know, observe or integrate whatever arises with this teaching. It moves a lot of stuff. Sometimes we are so stuck to our ways, to our identity, that there is a lot to integrate this week. So don't just do the practice, but also do the integration or the emotional work that comes with it. That is what's really gonna help you embody this teaching. So if there are no more questions, no more comments, that is all for today's class. It did go a little bit longer than I expected. Thank you for your patience, and I will see you next week. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you.
I've got to go. I just had somebody pull up in front here, so enjoy, my dear. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.